Hi friends, this video is about shame and self-honor or a sense of self that we all have. Now, shame is not recognized directly as being ashamed of something or as shame per se. It's a manifestation of a lot of self-rejection, self-criticism. We are taught to think in tough love. In fact, that's what parenting is all about. We have been told that we can't let achievements and stuff go to our head, and therefore tough love is what we recognize. We are able to see and hear negatives far stronger than we are able to receive compliments or receive information about us that is good, that is resourceful towards us. That is how we have been conditioned. And so shame does not manifest in our emotions as just constantly being ashamed. It manifests as procrastination, as being lazy to apply for a part-time job, not submitting your assignment, not being committed to yourself, not going out and doing more things, being happy in a status quo, not pushing yourself, constantly being on some gadget or the other, lack of hygiene, lack of motivation, and just zest for life and enthusiasm for life. So this is all a manifestation of some internal rejection that we have internalized, that we have hidden, and that actually keeps us hidden and keeps our true self and sense of self and dignity and honor hidden from us. We feel very bad, we feel that we are no good, we feel that this whole heavy burdened emotion of shame literally makes us want to hide. It makes us paralyzed, and it completely disconnects us from our soul's intelligence, from our own internal wisdom. And we feel we don't have any wisdom. We only have mistakes. We are only stuck in some past sense of who we used to be. Maybe we liked ourselves in the past and maybe we are stuck over there. But in the present moment, this moment which we have, we don't feel that we have that resourcefulness. We don't feel that we have the qualities. We don't feel that we have the personality. And so we just manifest everything in that filter of rejection, of self-rejection. So when another person says something, it really impacts us and it confirms our own belief of ourselves that we are not good enough. So today, this video is about shame that we have internalized, the heavy burdened feeling that we feel that shackles us, that doesn't allow us to go out and do what is needed for our own self-betterment, what is needed in that moment, wherever you are, whether you're in a job or in school or have just finished and are searching for jobs or have just started college and are in a new environment, whatever your life situation is, this self-rejection, this self-criticism is what we hear. The voice in our heads is this internal voice which is critiquing us at every step, and we accept it and we think that this is where our truth is and this is what is permanent. We cannot change it right now. It's too late. In this video, I will give you the tools to look at where you are stuck and how you can move it to a more resourceful state, to a state which is your truth, your authentic self, your true self. Is not this rejection, is not this harsh voice which is on loop in your mind, but it is a more connected and aligned state to your truth. And your truth is like your DNA. You have been born with this DNA in your chromosomes. You're not injecting yourself with new DNA. So your soul's intelligence is also coded in your system, in your inner being. Your truth is also coded in your inner being. No matter what mistake you have done, no matter how bad you think you are and how irreversible the situation is. It is always reversible. It is always possible to work on your sense of self and to get that system which has made you feel that you are now frozen and stuck removed completely, and you shifted to your own internal coded soul intelligence and wisdom. So, for example, you have this voice in your head that says you will never make it and you're not good enough like the others are, like your cousins are, like your friends are. You don't feel that, and that's because growing up you were constantly badgered, and you know very clearly that you were told time and time again that you're not good enough. Why are you doing this? You can't do it. You're such a loser. Literally, that is the sense that you have grown up with, and now as an adult or a young adult, that is what has been internalized in you. So if we use that example, when we look at that emotion, it is like a lot of voices around you and within you scolding you, pointing the finger at you, making very cruel eyes, and looking at you with disdain and with literally hatred, saying, here goes the loser. These are all the manners in which you are processing this shame inside your head. This is what your inner critic is saying about you, and this is your critique about yourself. Forget what somebody else says. You yourself are constantly saying, oh, you're such a dumbass. Why did you do it this way? Why can't you do it that way? You'll never get it. This is constantly what your internal monkey mind is. And then you're looking for proof. See, I didn't do this. I couldn't do this. I didn't turn this in. I'm not searching for a job. I didn't have a bath in 3 days. Blah, 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 blah. Many, many, many things. I'm stuck in a job that is not giving me a promotion or a raise, but I'm still stuck in it and I'm still going to do it. So there are many ways in which you're self-rejecting and in which you are actually living out that shame that you had heard growing up, and that is what your truth is today, and you think that cannot change. So when you're looking at that and you're looking at all these voices, internal voices, the look of meanness towards you, this is all how you're actually representing it. But if I were to tell you that this could be a narrative that your imagination has created also. What if you were to just wipe out the slate? Imagine that you wiped it out completely and you created a new avatar of yourself, and you created a new internal conversation for yourself, and you were to look at yourself with not this but this, not oh my god bad vision and cruel eyes, but with kindness, with a smile, with a soft gentle voice which says, you did good, I admire you, you took this first step and you got yourself out of that loop of constant hatred and looking for stuff into looking within and admiring who you are. You went back into certain times in your life when you showed courage, you showed pride in the work that you did, you submitted the assignments on time. There were times when you were actually very proud of who you were. And so you bring back that memory, you bring back that soft voice, you bring back that softness and kindness in your eyes, you bring back that, oh, you're so good, you really know how to move and do self-work. And that self that you created, the identity you created of rejection, was not something that is yours. It's a narrative, and we can shift that. And like we wiped it out, we will look for small proof situations in our life which will tell us that, oh yes, I am not that person who I keep telling myself is a loser, cannot do it, and I reject that. I will reject the rejection. So when I reject that rejection and I accept my resources, I find many examples in my life as a child, as an adult, when I did really good things. And I will accept that. I will take a bow. I will believe in that much more than I'm able to believe and play on loop all the negative chatter that goes on. So when you replace that chatter with a new chatter, with new actions, with a new aura of yourself, and proof in your life from the past that you did do these things, and so you did have that resource within you. It is coded, but because you kept covering it and covering it and layering it and layering it, it has now disappeared. So now you will find within you every single day, and you will speak it out loud. I admire you. I like what you did. I really like that when you were 13 years old and you went out and you helped that child who was smaller than you and was being bullied by others. You showed a lot of courage. I liked that when in class everyone was saying one thing and you had the gumption and the voice to stand up and to hold a different opinion. That was really brave. That was what your raw, core, primal resource and strength is. And so I will draw upon that truth of you to now institute changes. So you will tell yourself that, you will look for proof in your life, and you will institute small changes each day that will move you from this visual representation and this internal representation of all this that made you feel rejected, that made you feel demotivated, and instead you will place in that person a DNA of achievement, of connection. So the connection to the harmony and the courage which I have examples of in my life, I'm bringing that forward. I'm bringing that right up and center into my focus, and I'm not looking at any other things. I have literally turned down the volume of that critic, and I have increased the volume of my own voice saying, I admire you, I love you, it's okay, this was our trajectory, this was our journey. We had to go through so many years of disconnection, so much restlessness to get to this space of balance, to get to this space of understanding who we are, because this is what life is. It is not something that we just get. We are being constantly chiseled. We are being constantly made different by second to second life situations. So now you recognize that what you had felt all along was a narrative. It was a faulty narrative. It was not your authentic self. It was not your coding of your soul's intelligence, your wisdom. So you're able to now look at yourself gently, with compassion, with dignity, and give yourself that love. You understand that it's not that you're unworthy of love or not good enough or any of those things that you felt. You have gone in and you have found your strength. You have now little by little started to respect yourself, started to look at your resources where you were just unwilling to even consider that you had those resources. Now you're looking at it gently. Some part of you may still reject it. Some part of you may say no, 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 because the conditioning of not believing and disbelief and believing in the negative about us and the faults that we need to work upon is so strong that the resources and the strengths and the personality traits that are so good in us, we just don't accept that. It will go to your head. It will not do you any good. But that is where then it changes the whole picture for us and changes our whole sense of self, which then gets rooted in all this heavy negativity and we become frozen. So when you look at yourself and you are able to like what you see, you're able to be comfortable in your skin, which means that even the flaws that you have to work on, you are aware of it. You're not just only hyper focused on your faults and to a point of being hateful to yourself. You accept that gently. You accept that that is the journey of trial and error, of faults and working on those and correcting those and self work. That is the journey. And you don't get so critical about yourself that you just say, how could I make that mistake? What could I do? You are more accepting, and you are accepting far more of your resources, far more of your personality traits that are of kindness, that are of boldness, that are of a lot of hard work that you have done, that are of purity. In fact, along with self-honor, you have purity, which I think is the opposite of where you've been stuck right now in shame. Because you are pure of heart, because you have that innocence, because you believe so much in the concept of integrity, truth, and love, you are so harsh on yourself to change yourself quickly. But that kind of backfired and you got stuck in this demotivated state. So I believe that the flip side of shame is actually purity, purity of intent, purity of your soul's intelligence, the sparkling of your own wisdom that now shakes you up and brings you face to face, because you recognize shame. It is literally leading you by your ears, by the shame, to your purity, and saying all you have been able to see is this impurity and this shame. But what it is a placeholder for is your purity, is your innocence, is your integrity, and your belief in love, in your word, in your strength, in your achievements, and in who you are, in your self-work. You have done it. You have done it time and time again. Now you have to harmonize with it and be in sync with it. And you cannot feel that the two are disconnected. Alongside this feeling of being shameful about the mistakes is this purity of intent of this person who you are. So you have to work with both alongside each other till such time that you're able to develop your resourceful state of seeing yourself kindly, seeing yourself with the strengths, seeing yourself do much more. And when you come from the approach that you have a sparkling soul wisdom that has intelligence from many lifetimes, it's not just this lifetime, and it's a fair intelligence, it's a very fair and just intelligence, which means that the balance of karma that you had to do, because of which you made whatever mistakes you had to in this life, and wherever you are stuck in rejection and frozenness, all that is the balance, is the equation that needs to be balanced out for your life trajectory in this birth. So imagine that that's what has been done right now for you, that all this while that is what was churning within you, the restlessness, the shame, the everything, every negative, heavy, burdensome, paralyzing, disconnecting emotion was doing this for you. And now, because you have been made ready to receive, and you have already worked on yourself so much that this moment of realization absolutely sits inside your being, and you're able to shift from that state into this new state of seeing yourself kindly, working on yourself with a different point of view, different perspective, and reaching small microscopic goals, which will then lead you to being content in yourself, happy in your skin, and completely resonating and reverberating in this purity of spirit that wants to connect with you and that has connected with you. You can say no, you can flail and flounder, but what needs to come into your being by light, by truth, by alignment has already come in, and that that you cannot undo. So when you have been made to see, when you have been made aware of this intelligence in you, you will find a peace in you. You will find contentment. You will find that you have settled down. And sometimes the water gets muddy again and you again get restless. But overall, you have found that you're happy. You're in that state where you can see the ruffling of your feathers, but at the same time, you can see that you have that freedom. You have that complete sense of flying and overseeing the flaws, the work that you have done, the courage, the personality traits that are of very high value to you, and you're able to not get swayed anymore into rejection or into feelings of shame. Rather, you find yourself just connected to a higher purpose, to clarity, to being led, newer ideas, newer things that want to manifest through you. And that is your honor, that is your self-work, that is the proof of the pudding, that has already been in you, and it has just come up and it has just been pulled up like a file, and it is in front of you, and that's what you're reading now. So you cannot unread the reading of your soul's wisdom, and that's where I want you to be. And I want you to understand that it was just a placeholder. Whatever negative emotion, especially shame, and especially feeling the lack of motivation, the lack of bubbliness about your life, all of that was a placeholder for you, for your spirit, for your soul's wisdom to rise up and connect with you. First, to make you so disconnected that you went through many, many, many years of not being happy, not being settled, not being clear, to now being in that joyous state of connection. Even if you know that you are connected a tiny bit, it's enough to wipe out all the years of disconnection. Enjoy this state and be this person. That is your natural, organic state and your sense of being and sense of self. And I want you to revel in it, and I want you to enjoy it, and I want you to create from this space. If you liked my video, then I would want you to hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. You can comment if you need me to do any video on a certain topic. I will be more than happy to make one. Thank you for watching. Bye.